that I should talk about. And I'm just gonna talk while I'm driving because that'll distract me and help me to just be more in flow. I'm just talking aloud, so anyway. People, man. Anyway, so there were some other pieces of the Ganat Yetifa story. So Ganat Yetifa is just a human, excuse me, Earth term for it, for this place. Real quickly, I talked about like some general like ideas of the overall overreaching structure of that place, but the cities I never went into, family structures. Um, it's not a homogenous society. Okay, first of all, it's pluralistic. People, not people, humans. I use the word people. I'm a people, and then humans will be Ganat Yetifa. Um, so Ganat Yetifa is like, pardon the terminology, a United Nations, right? Because it has representatives from all of the worlds on which human forms have been cultivated. And the ecosystems of those worlds are consistent enough with Ganat Yetifa, our home world, excuse me, the human home world. Because again, this is a story about Lamu, the human that came to Earth to understand the humans of this world. The ecosystem of Ganat Yetifa is such that the human forms from the external worlds that humans have been planted into or that are humans are inhabiting. Hello, I will interact as when I stop driving. Um, Thank you for dropping in, John. Like I appreciate it. Um, the humans that live on those external worlds always have representatives on Ganadiyat. There are no political infightings, backfightings. That's one of the reasons that the people of Earth are quarantined. The people of Earth aren't actually human, and this is where the big debate is. It's like, think about Israel, right? Israel wouldn't let people become citizens. Like you can become a citizen, but not really for real, for real. You can't really become an Israeli unless you're a descendant of Shem, a descendant of Abraham, really. Like from that lineage, right? You have to be from that lineage in that way, Isaac and lineage, all that. Generally, right? The Falasha had to get approved to go to Israel and to be Jews there. They had to be part of the Jewish diaspora. And so it's the same with Ganat Yetifa. In order to live there and be represented there, you have to be human enough to be incorporated into that society. And there are hundreds, thousands of cultures and races, real races. Like there's no interbreeding. Like you cannot, a cerulean cannot mix with the a cerulean cannot mix with, God, I forget all the names. It's all written in the Whispering Archangel. But a cerulean human can't mix with like one of these other types of humans because they're not genetically compatible enough. It's like if like a tiger and a mountain lion. They're both from the cat family, but they can't mix. But a lion and a tiger can mix. A lion and a leopard can mix. A tiger and a leopard can mix, right? Because they're genetically close enough. So you have that on Ganat Yetifa, where there are these humans, 12-stranded DNA. All of them are the 12-stranded upwards of 2 double helix DNA. And this whole idea of Enoch being taken to heaven and walking with God and then being taken to heaven. Enoch was not one man, okay, according to the story. Enoch was actually a culture of humanoids that expressed the divine human spark enough that the people, the humans of Ganat Yetifa said, these earth people are worthy of being part of the homeworld. And they took those people to the homeworld. It was a culture that lived prior to the last major cataclysm, and they were called the Enoch. They were the Enochians or whatever. You can call them the Enochians, right? They were the people of Enoch. But Enoch was not one man. It was a culture of people that lasted like several centuries. But these were like the Essenes, or they were just a special, unique group of people that were very human-like, right? So people on Earth are not human, really, at all. I mean, because like think about it. To be human, you have to embody and express the divine spark. And when you are human, you can actually manipulate the very structure of reality. Like you can shift reality, you control minds of the people, you can do all kinds of things. So this whole idea of like reptilians, the Illuminati, and all these people that run the earth, fucking bullshit, exist, not real. Yes, there are people above, there are humans above, but like they can walk in a crowd and just look at a crowd and then turn off everybody's head, make everybody like hallucinate something because their vibration is so high. They're not nice people. They're not none of that. They are they're actually human. To be human is to have that 12-stranded DNA. And the bodies that were crafted for this world um, were like, okay, let's see what we can do. And there were human civilizations. Kemet or Egypt was one of them. Atlantis was one of them. The Mauryan civilizations, Amexem was one. Hyperborea was another. Great Mongolia, the old empires was another. Were others. The Inca, the Taita Inti, and all those people that came from that level and that layer, they were human. They were actually human. And they came here and did a little bit of work, did a little manipulating, did a little things. All these like gods that could like make mountains happen, like Medusa that could turn a man into stone with her look. Those were just humans. They just had the divine spark and they had the control over reality. And the reason that people on Earth, the humanoids that live here, don't have that is because they were bred to outsource their divinity. Fucking Tesla drivers. You guys didn't need to hear that, but I had to say it. They outsource their divinity to, um, the group. The human has the ability to be autonomous, have agency and authority over her or his experience from birth. And the people of Earth start out as humans, but then they become people as they get older. They turn their brains off, they go to a job, they do what the boss says. Okay, boss, what do you want me to do? And then they complain about their boss and drink beer on the weekends. Not human. People. People. Lovely people, but not human. So humans have that divine spark. And on Ganat Yatifa, again, it's a world of absolute harmony, absolute beauty, beyond words. Everything that's on this planet, its original is on Ganat Yatifa. So trees like you see, if any of you are familiar with the redwood trees, they're exceptionally tall, exceptionally beautiful, exceptionally healthy. They're very resilient to disease and decay. They're from Ganat Yatifa. That's an example of a native species from our homeworld. You look at some of these native peoples in different parts of the world, they have perfect teeth, they live forever, their skin is clear, they look amazing, and they live way out in like the jungle or something. Not in the jungle, but like in the desert or wherever they live. And they're super tall. They're as close to human as just about any humanoid life form on Earth is. And they're rare, and they don't like to interact with people that much. And they, a lot of American Indian tribes were very close to human, very close to human. Again, there's just been a lot in this world. But the aliens that you hear about, this is what I was going to expound upon more. The aliens, there's no such thing as aliens, right? A lot of it is just beings that live on Earth that are native to this place that were here before these experiments were done to create the people. The reptilians were here before the humans. And they every once in a while they just come out of the underground and like do their thing. But they've been here forever, and they've watched humans get wiped out so many times. If you guys only knew, like they've watched people get wiped out. See them. They don't really deal with like people that much. I keep saying humans, but you know the people on Earth, they don't really deal with people that much. They're not worried about it. They're just like the sun's gonna get really hot. Like you see that the planet gets really hot. They're like, yes, please, can it get like 20 degrees hotter? That because this is really they're more native to this planet than the people are, than we are, and they've had a hand in the construction of these people bodies and stuff, and in the brains too. The construction of brains, they contribute a lot of their technology and whatnot to create these quantum computers in our cranial structure, in our cranial cavity. So this whole thing like Elohim, 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 yeah. We are the Elohim if we accept the divine call that Jesus was saying. Like if you accept that, then you start to manipulate reality, and you start to shape reality. You can actually do that, but it requires that you die to the person that you were before, and you know that means your personality is going to die. Your connections to people in the past is going to, all that stuff is going to go away, and it will be a death, and it won't be like, it won't be super pleasant necessarily. So you may lose friends and family and things like that is what I'm saying. So soon I'll stop driving and I'll be able to answer questions because but yeah. So anyway, the cities on Ganet Yetifa, one of the 5 homeworlds of the human species, are perfect. There is no trash. There is no homeless. Like everything that you guys know on in Earth, like trash and old buildings and historic land sites. No, that stuff doesn't exist. It is not like there's no such thing as nostalgia. Things are built to last for millennia, and if they decide that they're no longer necessary, poof, gone, replaced. And there are the beings, because their consciousness is so developed and so like refined, they will actually wipe. Like I said, they'll just wipe out entire civilizations and cultures. Like not even think twice about it. Gone. But anyway, I digress. I'm back to my spot. Let's see here. Pray please, thank you God. Amen. Pray please, okay. Amen. I don't know what amen is. For the Japanese, maybe? I don't know. Jaime Castillo. Okay. God bless. Thank you. Thank you for coming in. Car fan. Thank you for coming back. Carter Hoffman, welcome back. Are you related to Aaron Hoffman? But anyway, so that's the world, and that's how they work, and that's how it operates. The cities are clean. The cities are perfect. There's no trash or anything like that. There's none of that stuff. You know, there's no problems with that. It's a beautiful, perfect place, and it's exactly the way it should be. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that. What else? The aliens, like the aliens don't exist. There's no such thing as aliens. They just don't exist. There's no such thing. If you see like a 20-foot reptilian walking down the street, it's either an animatronic thing that somebody made, or it's a native of the planet that just shouldn't be on the surface. And your brain is broken, and you're not supposed to see that. Because they do interact with, they're here all the time. They're walking around all the time. You're not supposed to see it. The human brain was designed as a filtering, the earthling people brain was designed as a filtering mechanism. So your brain doesn't actually help you to perceive reality. It helps you to filter out everything that's actually there. So you can interact with and interface with all kinds of living conscious beings and perceive them, walk through them, not interact with them. They can do things to you and all this stuff, and you would never know it. You're like people are like rocks, unfortunately. Our bodies are like rocks. They're made to just survive, because the idea was to see how long the human genome in its least developed form could last on this realm. Because the human has been input into many planets, even sun-like planets. And they just say, well, how can DNA survive fire? DNA is not like that. It's something else. It's a code, right? You just fortify it and make it so that it's accessible, make it so that it functions inside of that system. And so you can create, there are humanoids that live on the surface of the sun. Okay, and people don't really go, sorry, this is a story. This is just a story. It's just a story. It's just a story. It's not. Um, in this story, there are humanoids that live on realms kind of like the sun, but they're made of different stuff. Okay, the humanoids or the people of Earth are made of the materials of Earth: carbon, all the other stuff, silica, nitrogen, oxygen, all that stuff, helium, hydrogen, all that stuff is making up the people bodies on this Earth. In realms and planets like Jupiter or the Sun or whatever, Venus, the people are made, the bodies are made up of that. The genome is just it's like an antenna in a way. It's a way of transmitting information between a place of origin, which is going to yet to find the other 5 homeworlds, and wherever the exploration is happening. And so, I don't know if that makes any sense. We talked about aliens, talked about the cultures. What else were we talking about? See any questions? No. Races, yes, thousands of races, and they're all representative of different places. Animals, they don't eat meat there, not because they care about animals. They don't care. It's not about that. It's just that there are higher nutrient sources on the planet that are actually pleasurable to eat, or pleasurable to ingest. And there are a lot of beings that don't need to do that. Human forms that don't need it. They just design bodies that don't necessarily need that. Eating or ingesting food through the alimentary canal can be pleasurable, like sex. And so, eating is just kind of a choice. It's not really a necessity for people in that place. On Earth, you need to eat. Why? The sun gazers. Yeah, okay. Good luck. You have to eat here. These bodies are designed to ingest food. But there, there's more options and things like that. Let's see what else we're talking about. There are no children, or there are very few children, like less than 1% of the population is children or young offspring. Everybody lives for thousands of years. We talked about Enoch. Enoch walked into heaven, but it was not one person. It was an entire group of people from Earth that were allowed to enter Ganat Yetifa. They were allowed to enter because they demonstrated the human quality of autonomy, of agency, of connection to the Most High. They were Apex, truly Apex. Yeah. Well, I think I've exhausted that topic. Aliens, I think we talked about everything. The cities are perfect. I think I've covered it all. Crystals grow everywhere. The water is drinkable and clear. There are no salt seas anywhere. Everything is it's not a deep oceans or anything. What's up? What's up? I'm gonna come out right now.
I'm knitting.
Are you?
Finished. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I'll be back next week or something.
Okay. Are you sure? Don't
worry.
And by the way, I can take out those. I kind of like it.
Do it if you want.
Yeah.
Spray round it up everywhere and take a bunch too. So
okay,
do whatever you want, man.
All right, cool, dude.
They're all gonna be dead.
All right, okay. All right, dude. Have a good day. All right. Okay, cool. But anyway, yeah. So the home world is a thing. Oh yeah. Speaking of weed, that the plants, the plant life on there is just really cool. I don't know where to go. I have the book. I can pull it out. It's a really cool place. I should probably just pull out the book and like read chapters of it or something. I think it'll make it easier than me trying to pull it out of the back of my head. It's 15 years ago that I wrote that story, or that I wrote that book. But I'll pull it up and find it. And maybe that'll help me to be more consistent. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. This was just an additional part to the story. All right. Stay Apex.